Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, obviously, we're coming to you from our central Washington location here in beautiful Cle Elum, Washington. I want to talk to all of you, not only in the state of Washington, but nationwide, about the strange interaction that I see right now, or possibly see, between a very important ruling that we're waiting out of Judge Benitez in the case of Miller v. Bonta and some crazy stuff going on in the Washington state legislature. And maybe there's some gamesmanship going on both sides. And if we start connecting the dots, maybe we can kind of figure out when Judge Benitez is going to issue that all-important ruling on California's assault weapon ban. So today, let's spend a few very important minutes, connect some dots, read some tea leaves, and talk about what on earth is taking Judge Benitez so long. Okay, so like I said at the outset of this, this is going to be a strange connection, if you would, between what's going on in the matter of Miller v. Bonta before the Honorable Roger T. Benitez, United States District Court, San Diego Division, and the crazy things that are going on up here in Washington State, particularly Olympia and our state capital, with House Bill 1240. Now, just to get all of you around the country who are not familiar, my Washington viewers are abundantly familiar with this. House Bill 1240 is Washington's seventh attempt at an assault weapon ban. It has already passed out of the House. It has already passed out of the Senate. Now, there is some inconsistencies between the two bills, and the House has refused to reconcile the Senate's version of it. And so there's a little bit of political theater going on between both houses, but they're both controlled by Democrats. So we do not anticipate that the bill is going to actually die. It would be awesome if it did, but they're not going to get this thing 5 inches from the finish line and not get it over the top. Now, for those of you also around the country, you know that we are waiting a really important ruling in the matter of Miller v. Bonta. That is a challenge to California's assault weapon ban. And for those of us here in Washington State, that case is immensely important because House Bill 1240 is basically cut and pasted from 3 California penal codes of essentially California's assault weapon ban. So, listen, Governor Newsom, we talked about in this video right here, thought that the opinion was already written. We believe the opinion was already written. There were 5 huge California cases that were stacked up, as we talked about in that previous video, and there has been rulings in 2 of them. So what the hell is taking so long? Well, here's what I'm hearing, and I'm not going to disclose the sources. And again, this is only rumors and things like that, but when you want to read the tea leaves, connect the dots, and place some predictability on how people act, there's a little bit of connection here, okay? We're hearing that Judge Benitez is abundantly aware of what's occurring here in Washington State, and the fact that the Washington State Legislature is essentially thumbing their nose at the United States Supreme Court in both the Heller and Bruen opinions. We are also hearing that Judge Benitez is specifically waiting for the day that Washington signs its assault weapon ban into law. And I should point out for those of you around the country, Washington's assault weapon ban, if it's passed, has an emergency enactment clause, which means there's not an enactment date somewhere out in the future. No, it goes into effect the second Jay Inslee signs the bill. Okay, and of course, that means for those of you who followed all this other crazy gun-grabbing legislation around the country, we're going to have lawsuits dropping immediately asking for temporary emergency injunctions and all of that. Now, what could be the best cannon fodder for a lawsuit like that? Well, a ruling out of the Ninth Circuit, since Washington State resides within the Ninth Circuit, striking down these types of laws would be an amazing piece of legal work and a huge tool for those that are challenging these laws. It would also be a massive gut punch to Jay Inslee. Okay, now, we thought that the Washington House Bill 1240 was going to pass out of the House and the Senate, get to the governor's desk, and we had predicted that it was going to be signed early next week, Monday, April 17th, Tuesday, April 18th. However, due to this little strange tug-of-war now going on between the House and Senate in Washington State, we are thinking that the signing date is probably being pushed back to about April 20th. Why April 20th? Well, let's just say that we got our ear in some chat boards that are not particularly pro-Second Amendment. We have seen the travel plans of certain individuals who would likely be invited to this momentous occasion. And we are now thinking that there's going to be a signing party after the Washington State Legislature irons this stuff out on Thursday, April 20th, okay? Now, here's the other significance and why we are circling Thursday, April 20th, okay? For those of you who are historians, you will know that April 20th is, in fact, the anniversary of the Columbine massacre. And for those of you who know Jay Inslee and our Attorney General Bob Ferguson, the most politicized Attorney General anywhere in the United States, the ability to perform and produce political theater, well, that's one of the few things they're actually good at. So you can imagine what a wonderful signing party would be on Thursday, April 20th, the anniversary of Columbine. Jay Inslee, Bob Ferguson, all the state legislators who sponsored this. Hey, let's get Gabby Giffords out here. Let's get Mike Bloomberg, every town, Moms Demand Action. You name it, let's get them all out here. And that's exactly what Jay Inslee and Bob Ferguson are going to do. However, it is my belief that whether that happens on April 20th or some other day somewhere right around there, that is the day that Judge Benitez is going to drop his ruling. Now, could we be wrong? Yeah, of course. Like I said, I'm making predictions. I'm reading tea leaves and I'm trying to connect the dots. And have we been wrong here before at Washington Gun Law? Of course we have. Have we been right on a few occasions? We most certainly have. But it is my belief that you will see a ruling in Miller v. Bonta published probably about 1 hour after Governor Jay Inslee signs House Bill 1240 into legislation. For those of you around the country, we're going to put links down below to House Bill 1240 so that you can follow that. So if you have any interest in seeing what we're doing out here in Washington and how that may affect you, you can do so. And obviously, we here at Washington Gun Law have been continuing to drop video after video after video for the hometown crowd out here in Washington State, keeping them apprised of what's going on with that bill. Listen, you may have more questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights. If you do, you should know how to contact Washington Gun Law by now. But if you don't, hey, that's okay. All of that information is right there in the description box. In the meantime, I do want all of you to remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe.